Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this kind of looks like crap. I'm hoping it's gonna look better once it's finished and everything, because it still has this protective layer on it on both sides. I need to round the corners off. I need to finish a couple things up, but I'll be honest, it kind of, I don't know. It just kind of looks like crap right now, so hopefully it'll look a lot better once it's done, because I'm spending a lot of time doing this. Alright, that is the last piece of this puzzle. Alright, so I was a little nervous while building this that it was going to kind of turn out ugly looking, but I think it turned out pretty cool. You can still see all the moving parts in here in case you want to figure out how it works. You can still see the chain in here while protecting this, covering it, and it makes it look a lot less busy because of all the moving parts in here. So you can still shift into two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Now, I do kind of want to figure out how to cover up these holes, because we can still drop stuff, not really big stuff, but we can still drop something in here. And I kind of want to figure out how to maybe cover these up. I don't know. Now, yes, I did use plexiglass. I know you guys were saying in one of the last videos of this project about using Lexan instead of plexiglass, because Lexan doesn't shatter like this stuff does, but I just decided to do plexiglass because it's what I had, and I think it'll be fine. If the chain does snap, I think it'll be going while we're going forward, and if when we're going forward, the bottom chain is the one that's under tension, so that would have to go through the top chain, have to go through, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here for it to hit before it gets to the plexiglass, so I really don't see it being in, I don't know. Hopefully it's not an issue, but anyway, this kind of took me a long time to do, but let's move on to something else. Let's work on the headers and mufflers on this thing. Now, I decided to go slightly better quality mufflers for this project, so I found these on eBay. These are for a Hayabusa engine, and they were $280 for two of them. There's a second one in here. Now, though I honestly think that they're worth 280 bucks, honestly, I don't really see that much of a difference with these and the super cheap ones on eBay for like, what, 35 or 45 bucks? I mean, these are slightly bigger and they're a little bit heavier, So maybe there's extra packing in here, but it's like the same thickness of metal, it's the same rivets, it's the same design and build and everything. So I don't know. Did I get ripped off? $280? I was kind of expecting these things to be way better quality. I don't know. Hopefully they'll work better. Are we gonna even notice a difference with a muffler that I mean, what is a muffler that works better? Is it quieter? Is it louder? Is it sound better? I don't know. Anyway, we need to figure out where these things are going on the frame, and I do think I'm gonna do a similar setup like the CBR 1000 where it's dual mufflers and they're just sticking out the side of the frame, so we need to figure out where these things are going. Now for the placement of these things, I'm honestly not sure if I should like put them here, angling down, or just angling out, or I could put them here to where they're past, because I'm a little afraid of putting them here and then having the exhaust kind of really close to the gas tank, and like what if fuel leaks out of here and then this thing backfires and then lights the fuel? Is that a possibility? I don't know. I could angle them more outwards, but then they're closer to the tire. I could angle it more up, but then it's, then I had a thought, like what about this? What about having two of them like that? If this was a diesel, I'd have this thing sticking straight up with a tractor flap on top, but it's not a diesel. I don't know. I'm not really sure where to put these things. It's either going to be here, here, or, you know, here, going up, going down, going out. I'm not really sure. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out how to do the headers on this thing. Basically, we have to figure out how we're connecting these up to here. So I'm not sure if I already said this, so I'm going to say it again. I'm basically going to do the same setup like the CBR 1000, where these two cylinders go to this muffler, then these two cylinders go to that muffler. Completely changes the sound of the engine and also kind of changes the tune. But I'm planning on buying a Power Commander 5 for this thing anyways. So I don't think that's going to be a big deal to fix the tune of this thing if we do that. Now, it's just a question of, do I go on the inside of this bar or do I go on the outside? Because this bar is kind of really not in a great spot. I could go on the inside, but it would be really short headers, it would be a really sharp bend, you know, having these two conjoin into one bigger piece of tubing, and then, you know, really sharp bend into the muffler right here. Or I could go on the outside, but that would move the heat of the engine, the heat of the mufflers more forward, a little bit closer to the transmission, but it would be a more gradual bend into, you can join it into one piece of tubing, and a more gradual bend into this. It'd be longer headers. So I think this is a better option instead of having really short headers, because I'm not really sure how that would affect the tune of this thing, having really short headers, really tight bends. So I think it's a better option to do this. Yeah, I think this is going to be a lot better. Gradual bends, longer headers. It just moves the heat of the mufflers a little bit closer to the transmission, but I don't think that's the end of the world. Now, I found this at my local scrapyard a couple weeks ago. I have no idea what the heck this thing's from, but it's all stainless, and it's like perfect diameter, and I paid like not even 20 bucks for this thing. So yeah, I'm really curious what this thing is off of, because why, if you have to go from here to here, why do this? This is like, I'm really curious what this is off of. Whatever the heck this thing is, it's perfect to chop up and use for the headers for this thing. that was the tricky bit of connecting these two together. And then it's just going from here out to here. So now I gotta do the other one. Yay. Alright, that was the challenging part of building these headers, was joining these pipes together, getting the angles correct and everything. They're definitely not symmetrical. This one has more space in between this and this than this one. This one's a little bit higher up, so they're definitely not symmetrical, but I don't think that's the end of the world. I kind of want to take these off and fully weld them out and then move on to connecting this up to here, so because these are probably going to warp a little bit more once we weld them, so I think let's do that now and then move on to connecting these up to the mufflers. Yeah, I really hope these things still fit in here, now that I welded it. Hopefully they didn't warp too much. Oh, wow. Ah, don't tell me this. Oh, they totally warped. Warped like crazy. So I think trying to bend them is going to be the easiest way to try and fix this. Let's see if I can use the vise. Moving it. Ooh, that moved it. Nice. Let's check it. It's working, it just needs more. Nice, look at that. That totally solved that problem. So I've been looking at this, and I think I'm going to move the muffler a little bit further back and a little bit more aimed down because I'm a little nervous about this being really close to the gas tank. And I do kind of plan, I'm not really sure about this yet, but I do kind of plan on maybe paneling this. So having the muffler a little bit more down here and having panels right here, I think is going to help protect, the gas tank from any backfiring or anything like that. So yeah, something like that. it is closer to the tire, so it is gonna get a little bit more covered in mud, because I don't plan on running any fenders on this thing. But I think it's more important to get it a little bit further from the gas tank. It's more shooting its exhaust down in this direction, away from the gas tank, so... Alright, so we got the headers and mufflers done on this project. That kind of took a long time to do, so this video may be a little bit short, but I wanted to make sure to take my time and do this right. And I know some of you guys are going to ask, because I know I said that I was planning on turboing this engine, and I know that the headers that I just built don't have a turbo on them. But I think for now, let's just get this thing running, let's get this engine running and working, and test this thing before turboing this, just to make sure that everything's working, make sure the suspension's working properly, make sure my drivetrain is working and doesn't need any upgrades or anything like that. I think let's just test this thing and make sure everything's working right before turboing this thing and doing all that. Because I'll be honest, I'm a little on the fence about turboing this thing, because in my opinion, reliability is a lot better than having turbo, more power, whooshy turbo noises and all that kind of stuff. Reliability is just a lot better in my opinion, because I've seen a lot of people turbo these things, turbo other builds, other engines and all that kind of stuff, and they're just running into nothing but reliability issues. It's never really running right, it's never working right, it's always having to be tuned, always having to tune it and mess around with it, and it's like, in my opinion, I don't want to do that. I just want to have a good running, reliable engine. So that's kind of why I'm a little on the fence about turboing this, but I do agree. Turboing this would be cool, more power, turbo whooshy noises is always fun. But if I do turbo this thing, I want to make sure to do it right, and to do it right is expensive, and I'm already way over budget with this project. But anyway, next video of this project, we need to do just a couple more things with it. Just a couple more things before we can start working on wiring. We need to hook up the brake pedal, the gas pedal, the clutch pedal. We need to add the limiting straps in the front. We need to finalize the coolant system. Hopefully that's going to be working properly. We need to add just a couple panels in the front, because we definitely want to make sure the radiator isn't blowing into the cab and everything. So we need to add a couple panels in the front. before we, because like I said, I do plan on adding paneling to most of this frame, but that's going to take a long time, and I think let's just do that once this thing's, you know, once we're done testing this thing and all that kind of stuff. So, as well as doors, we need to finish the doors and all that stuff. But anyway, guess that's it for this video. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video.